Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender. I'm here in the Casa Contiki, Kelly.
Kelly, yes.
Here with Jenna and Papa Joe.
Hello.
And, we're gonna call this one Aspergers, and we're not making fun of people on the spectrum, but I have certain views that I think maybe it's underdiagnosed, or there's a lot more people out there with it. But today I went to get a haircut, as you can see. We got to get some pictures of my haircut. I got to put it up. I'm proud of this one. I'm not comfortable enough telling people how to cut my hair. So this one I spent some time. I was always like I'm a people pleaser, even with the person that's cutting my hair. I say, you're the expert. So
you just let them go and
do what you think,
Yeah.
Especially with a woman. I always thought like this: if a woman was if she smiles at me and she's slightly attracted to me, she might try to make me look better. The way, she just like that, or gay, could be a guy too.
Oh, you should go to a gay barber.
Really?
Oh, what are you going to do with that? Oh my God, you came in here for what? Oh, please. There's no hope. There's no helping you.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, while I was sitting, when I was going up to get, I had, I don't. We were talking about patience earlier. Papa Joe and I did a show, and I was driving up, and there's a guy out front on the phone. And I go, oh, that must mean there's a couple people inside, because the guy's outside. So there has to be someone in a chair, and the guy's outside making a phone call. And I look at the guy, and it's someone that usually comes in to the catch, and he orders takeout. For some reason, he talks to me for about 10 minutes about football, like in depth. I never said anything to him about football, whether I like football or not. And he just assumed I'm just into the Miami Dolphins as he is, which we are in Key Largo. That is our local team down here. So he goes, I thought, oh shit, I'm listening to the guy, and I'm like, oh fuck, can you just shut up, man? I don't want to. I'm a patient guy. I just don't want to talk 6 minutes. I don't want to get in a 6-10 minute conversation with someone talking about football. I like football, but I'm not. I'm an Eagles fan. It doesn't really matter. I don't really want to spend that much time talking about something that happened.
It's football.
All right.
It's a game.
It's football. It's not history or something like that. So he goes in. I go in there. There's no one in there, and I'm ready to get called up and go, great. I'm saying, at least the guy's going to go away. Well, don't you know, I'm in the chair, and I can't even tell him the lady's cutting. I can't even turn around to tell the guy to get, he just keeps on talking to me while I'm in the chair. He goes I want to talk to the woman, getting what I want done with my hair. I didn't want to talk about, he's talking about football. You're interfering, like if I was getting a doctor's appointment, you wouldn't be sitting there.
You're at the barber, and this guy... This guy's talking to you about
Yeah, he's talking to me.
While you're getting a haircut. Oh, my God.
While I'm telling the woman how I'd like to get my hair. And I only had one thing to tell her, to leave it a little longer on top. And the sides, the way she cuts the sides are fine. I think she did a great job. Finally, when you get it to the, you got to work your way in when you go to a new barber. So the guy goes, I'm ready to go, no, just go the fuck away, man. But I realize he's a regular customer and stuff like that. See, don't you know, this is inappropriate. This is going back and forth.
This exchange.
Yeah, I'm trapped. I can't get out,
Right.
Is he also getting his haircut?
No. Oh, it is another weird thing.
Well,
he was scheduling his wife coming back to get a trim.
That's weird.
I know. He's going to go, are you available at 1 o'clock? My wife has to get a trim. And I'm
she
like,
a brain surgeon? She busy?
I didn't know. I thought maybe she was like wheelchair bound or something like that.
So,
no, I thought, but she isn't. She isn't.
But okay,
she isn't.
I get exactly what you're where you're coming from, because if you're at work and you're being compensated to be there, and you have to be a socialite because that's part of your job, and you have no choice but to interchange.
Yeah, and when someone
with
else,
these people,
the nice thing about it, I get someone else will come up and ask for something, and I can say, "Oh, excuse me, I got to go."
Right? Yeah, but it happens to me too, because I can't go to Publix without somebody stopping and asking me a bunch of questions about their boat or their loan or whatever. Mm. And everywhere, because everybody that buys everything up here goes through my store. And then you're just trapped. You're like, oh, I'm trying to grocery shop. I'm not here to help you with your build.
Well, I just think people that come up and that's where I started thinking about how Asperger's could be really tremendously underdiagnosed in the United States. And I realized I'm not making light of the people on the spectrum, but there's a lot of people that come up and assume that you're interested in exactly what they're interested in. Like someone will come and start talking about fishing and fishing this, fishing that. Hey, listen, I work in a restaurant called The Catch.
So therefore, you must like fishing.
I don't know shit. People talk 15 minutes, and then right at the end they go, you know what I'm saying? I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what the 15 minutes. My mind was going somewhere else. I said, I am sorry. That is not one of the things I do. I don't have a problem with people that do it. I just don't do it. Just like people talking about NASCAR, or if you like trains. I knew a little boy.
Sheldon Cooper.
I love trains.
He loved trains.
Sheldon Cooper's fun with flags.
Doctor Who. Yeah. Someone that comes in, someone that start talking about Doctor Who. I guess I may have it slightly because I'll talk about history, but I think that's a big.
Jim's on the spectrum.
Well, I mean, I think everyone is.
I was going to say, because they give me crap because I'm, Damon, obviously Papa Joe's partner, Damon, and I are kind of known for being the nerds of our store. Being a
nerd, but is it one subject?
No, we just remember everything.
No, it's not one subject. It's just because you are nerds and you're extremely cerebral, it kind of bleeds into fucking everything.
You're a nerd too. What are you talking about?
I am probably king of nerds.
Right. I mean, I think we're all nerds, but Damon and I have that math nerd thing, which really stands out to other people that don't have math nerds.
Mathematically analytical.
Right.
And
research.
Okay. I think one of the major traits.
What's the fun in that?
One of the traits of Asperger is a focus on one particular narrow subject.
Is that what it is? I was just going to say, I don't even know what the definition of Asperger's is.
I think it's a high functioning autism that you're. That you just have, you don't have the social, you don't get social cues of people that, hey, or what, you try to find out what someone's interested in. Now they may get it and say, hey, do you like Spider-Man? Let's talk about Spider-Man. Whatever. I mean, I like superhero movies.
Oh, okay. So it's Asperger's is a syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay, Asperger's syndrome is a pervasive developmental disorder that is characterized by an inability to understand how to interact socially.
Yeah, social cues, right?
Right.
So, but one of it is there was a kid, and I'm once again not making light of it. One of my brother's friends were at the house, and I think his name was Austin. The boy, I'm sure he's still around. He was a healthy, lovely young man. But when I was in my first marriage, for a year or so after the wedding, we had the wedding video, and we were giving it to my brother, who was the best man. And don't you know, Austin starts flipping out.
And what?
Well, supposedly, when he saw the video, he thought he was like 7 or 8 years old. His parents were the only ones that had a wedding ceremony.
Oh.
And his kid was smart, too. And I'm like, hey, just saw it. I guess it's an inability for him it removed the uniqueness of the event when he saw it happen to someone else. But I guess that would happen eventually when he got married. That he'd get all upset when he's getting married. Well, who knows, But I'm not. And once again, I don't make light of it. But then you get these people. I get these people that the same thing they're interested in. They do the same thing. They're repetitive. I think it occurs in society. Almost everyone is on the spectrum. Like we were talking earlier about the gay straight spectrum.
Yeah, it's on a curve.
Is it? I don't know. I would call it a line, wouldn't it? Or a circle? I guess a spectrum. Is a spectrum a circle?
Yeah, it could be a circle.
Or a Venn diagram kind of thing?
I just refer to it as the
like
curve.
You can have a Venn diagram, or you have up top you have it doesn't matter left or right. I mean, when you put it like straight, gay, bi, and then down here you have other things like people that like plush animals. and other different type of things that veer away from it. Not that's the Venn diagram. You know what I mean?
That's the other curve.
No, I don't think it's a separate line and stuff like that.
No, I don't think
there's people that get turned on by inanimate objects.
Yeah, look, sexuality, like I guess anything, is it's not round peg, round hole. It's just no pun intended there, but it is on a spectrum, and when you accept that, then it's easier to understand certain people's proclivities, and it takes away the I don't know, I want to call it the dirtiness of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just it is what it is.
Are you adding sound effects for us?
Sorry, my phone rang.
That's no problem. It's pretty cool. Last week I was accidentally turning the television on with my feet.
He was. The remotes are up
here,
if
here.
You noticed.
Oh.
He kept turning it on, and then he
I
thought
had
it
my
was
feet
like
on and
people
go like
that
this, and
were...
all of a sudden I thought we had a visitor from beyond.
No, it's possessed.
Coming on, yeah.
No,
and
just
then
your feet.
I knew it. What happened? 20 minutes later, I did the same thing. But I'll tell you some of the people, and you have people like that. There's okay, let's say there's a guy that comes in, one of our regular guys that comes in, and I hope he listens to the show, and I told him a couple times, I get tired of hearing it. I don't have a problem with him telling me that he goes by my house and how much his dog likes shitting on my lawn. I don't really have a problem with it. What I got a problem with it is him thinking it's interesting saying it after the 40th time.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not even the concept. And he says he picks it up anyway. There's no way another dog shits on the lawn and gets, because my lawn's not that big. And I mean, I'm going like this. I don't see it. It must not really have inconsequential shits. Or maybe what you feed it gets diarrhea. And he goes, no, I pick it up all the time. I said, why are you telling me this? And he goes, I guess it's a kind of a thing he wants to do. My dog waits. I think the dog's name's Sebastian. Waits to go and use. But he tells me every time he comes in the story, I took Sebastian. And then he calls my dog Little Jimmy, even though the dog is a girl. Which... you could change it to Jamie then. How about Little Jamie or something? But obviously, I'm not a girl. I mean, wait, no. Obviously, why would you change my dog's name to me, who she's a girl?
Yeah, that
I
would
just
be
don't
like
get that part.
Hobie Little Jenna.
But he tells the same story all the time.
Like he's kind of locked in his own little world there. And
on this particular thing, he does have interest in other things, but this one story shows up all the time. There's another one who comes in, and she's always exhausted from work. Always exhausted. Oh, so it's a hard day, 13 hours, stuff like that. And what the fuck does she talk about after that? Work. Fucking work. I mean, that's... don't you want to talk about anything else? They're coming to my bar. I can bullshit about anything. We could talk about anything you want. You had a tough day at your job, and all you want to do is fucking talk about your job.
Yeah, but that may not be Asperger's or anything related. That's just making you their counselor.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing you do about that shit.
No.
Okay, and there's one guy. Okay, how about the one guy that always uses lines from movies? Same movies. Same fucking movies.
Oh,
same movies he uses from a Caddyshack. Same lines from that. Same lines from Blues Brothers, and he's showing up, hacky. Not Asperger's, once again, just
annoying.
There's people that gain a lot of information, and that's how they spit it back, just like how they gained it. They don't go and do anything different with it. You know, they're not creative. There's always ones that always ask for a rag to wipe her bar down, even though if I just rhyme it. And I'll give her... one time I accidentally gave her a filthy rag, and she's wiping down. I said, you just made the area where you're sitting more dirty by doing that. You know, just can't leave it be. Can't fucking leave it be.
Okay, so I found the top 10.
And then there's all the one more thing.
Yeah, okay.
And there's one person always comes in, looks at the menu, never orders anything, but then I realize, oh, you spell Rockefeller wrong. You spell this wrong. I said, Jesus Christ. If I walked in your place and said, hey, listen, you did the grout on your bricks wrong. Did you do, no, I didn't do this. I didn't fill the menu out, and you didn't do the grout on your tiles.
Okay, I would say, out of all your examples, that one.
What?
That one has a little possible spectrum light going off. I had a sergeant, and he was the oddest guy.
Would you please? I appreciate it. I don't mean to do that.
Get him a beer.
Just don't snap your fingers at me.
You want to try one of them?
No.
This supposedly, I don't want to say what the brand is, but it's 6%, it says. Do you see it?
Oh, yeah, that's a little bit different.
Isn't it? That's like an IPA.
What is it normally?
Platinum.
5.5.
Yeah,
You just said pretty much what it was.
Whatever.
I didn't say the brand. I just said
Well, there's only one.
there may not be.
I think.
It's a big, tall blue can.
Hey, you know what? If we ever get any love from these guys,
we'll say their name.
We're definitely going to we're definitely going to be in a different. We'll be in fucking Bali doing this show from.
No.
Can we get you a glass with some Cuban stuff in it?
Oh, not tonight. No, thank you.
Okay, I was just checking.
Yeah.
Tonight is not a drinking night. I would say that that last example, the sergeant I was telling you about, odd, peculiar guy.
Yeah.
He would say things that were highly critical. We had a party for the canine handlers at one of the handlers' homes, and they're just country folk, you know. And so we all showed up, and we're all. Let me tell you something. We were all very close on this squad. And the Sarge comes in with his wife, and he walks into the kitchen, and he addresses that trooper's wife before even saying hello and says, "Don't you ever clean behind your stove?"
Are you fucking kidding?
Oh, no. She, I won't even say their name, but she looked at her husband and said, "What did he just tell me?" Mm-hmm. And the trooper said, who's now laughing, because he knows the quirkiness of the sergeant. Yeah. He said, he wants to know why you don't clean behind your stove. And she said, "Tell him to get the fuck out of my house."
Right.
And she kicked him out. He didn't flinch, the sergeant. He just smiled and went, "Oh, okay."
It's not the first time that's fucking happened.
No, but he would do it all the time. He would say things that, we would do the most amazing work. We would get all kinds of stuff off the road, dope, and then he would look for these little things and just throw these oblique criticisms that would just knock you down. And at first you thought, well, are you just doing this to keep me humble? Because you're not. You're pissing me off.
Yeah.
He could. The more you got to know him, the more you realized he couldn't help himself. This was not a tactic. This was a psychological condition. Uh-huh. And unfortunately, this is also the kind of person that couldn't wrap his head around a lot of things. He saw life very black and white. And
was he married?
Yeah, he was married.
Really?
Oh, she was as bad as he was. He found his perfect match.
Birds of a feather.
Of course, later on in life, I personally believe that they were both swingers, as odd as that sounds. But
no, it's not odd, because if he would go and make a comment, he would probably walk in and say, "Hey, your wife is stunning and has a nice rack. I'd like to have sex with her."
Well, he wouldn't say the sex, but he would absolutely say, "Wow, she been to the doctor lately?" Meaning surgical enhancements. And these are things that in a social setting would be highly inappropriate, but they would just come rolling off his mouth. So I would definitely put someone like that who has this inability to just balance the social, to have social.
Well, I mean,
skills.
obviously, alcohol has a lot to do. We talked about the last one. Alcohol sometimes, in this case, not in your case, in the cases I'm talking about, has a lot to do with. I mean, how many times you may say something inappropriate when
the inhibitions are gone. I guess.
Oh my God! I've been relatively safe. I think one part of my brain shuts down and makes sure not to say too many things. You know, I remember I got in trouble when I was married a couple times. When I was drinking a lot, saying some things I shouldn't have said. I mean, to this day, I think I may infrequently say that. But that I remember one time years ago, this is where I displayed, but I may have been drinking heavily the night before. A friend of mine was taking his kids to the dentist for the first time. And I looked at the kid and I said, wow, first time at the dentist, good luck. 7-year-old, I said to. They looked at me horrified. And I'm like, oh, well, I realized it then. But that sarcasm...
Right.
That fucking sarcasm thing. What the fuck was that all about?
See, that's absolutely the opposite of Asperger's from what I'm reading.
What, really?
Yeah, because they don't understand sarcasm. No, right. I mean,
oh, well, I know, but
what I'm saying.
No, but
take everything literal.
Right.
Well, I was using sarcasm to someone that doesn't understand sarcasm.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going like talking to them, and I always had this thing, and they supposedly have this thing. If you always do a little research on it. People that talk to animals, you think are crazy that speak to animals. That actually means it's a sign of intelligence. When you're relating, when you're talking to an animal.
Brainiac.
Me too, because I talk to Hoagie all the time.
No, but it's that because of the way you. It's that once again the fusion of empathy. Yeah. To other living things,
right.
Seeing it to other, being able to look at it and realize Hoagie has feelings.
Yeah.
Like when I come back here, I know the code to your door.
Yep.
And I go and I open the door and I let Hoagie out. I'm saying like, Hoagie knows I'm going to be hanging out here. I'm not going to fucking leave him.
I got home from work and
he was so rude.
He was at the gate whining at me, and I was like, "Oh, Uncle Jim let you out." He was all excited. He was all excited to show me that he got to live.
Well, I know Hoagie's more comfortable when I go and do that. I'm not one of those, and plus, if I was here and some person that doesn't live here came in and started sitting around and I had to stay stuck in there, I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah,
and I would start getting a grudge against that person.
He's like,
and I said, I want to be on Hoagie's good side.
Right.
Not that I'm afraid. I'm not afraid of Hoagie. I just, you know what? I want Hoagie to like me.
He's a good guard dog. He's noisy when he's supposed to be.
Hoagie comes at you, just trying to get my attention. I said, Hoagie, I see you. Don't worry. You're coming out. Let me put my bag up. Okay, listen, we're at 22 minutes. How the fuck did that happen?
I
don't know. We're going to come back. I want you to think about the new Terminator movie. We're going to be back in a moment.
All right.
If you want to get your information about the Florida Keys straight from the locals who live here and the ones who love it here, we've got you covered. Visit 43keys.com as your source for everything Florida Keys. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll always be up to date on all the Keysy stuff that's going on down here. Go to 43keys.com. That's the number 4, the number 3, keys.com and sign up today.
Okay, we're back. I guess we're back. It looks like we're back. Let's make sure that we're back. We are back. They see back enough?
Back. I think we're back. Maybe it's because you're stuck on one topic, like the top 10 signs of Asperger's.
Oh, let's hear it. Okay, you know what? I did cut you off on that. I want to talk about that. Let's hear it.
The top. I know, right? I'm so good at
segue.
I know. Okay, so the number one sign of signs of Asperger's in adults, not children, but adults.
Anytime they've commented.
Right. Talking differently, which they say means like it would be like somebody who speaks like a computer, can't stop spouting facts. They don't allow pauses, normal interaction, or conversation. And they might even use a very unique tone or monotone voice.
I was doing that voice the other day. I was doing Emotionless Jim. Oh, there's your phone going off again. Why does your phone go off all the time?
My phone
Seems
goes
like
off
your
a
phone.
lot.
Why does that happen?
I don't know. Just you're obsessing.
Is there a reason?
I don't know. Maybe it's number 2, a lack of nonverbal behaviors.
I don't know, but maybe I should start talking in
maybe
a monotone
we should all talk about like this.
I'm starting to talk about this.
So people that have Asperger's and adults, they use less gestures and facial expressions.
Oh, shit. So that kind of disproves it because I'm all expression.
Right, you're all expression. You talk with your hands, your eyes are always going. I actually tried to take pictures of your haircut. It took me 3 times before you would stop moving, itching your nose. And
Am I like Joe Cocker?
And
fucking
then
Joe Cocker?
Like, your eyes were closed.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you get up and walk out on me?
There's something maybe it's
was it heroin?
Maybe it's a tick.
Was that a tick? What was his thing?
I think it was a tick because I think he always did it.
Okay.
The third one is little or no eye contact.
Oh, I do shitload of that.
Right. So they just say that basically they're very unemotional. So therefore, they try to not have a whole lot of eye contact.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And people always say that I don't trust people with. As a matter of fact, you could trust it as someone with Asperger's because they're pretty much saying what's on their mind.
Right.
So that's kind of, I don't trust someone that doesn't make eye.
Yeah.
Maybe you should trust someone that doesn't make eye contact.
The number 4, right, is not one for social graces. So they have a reputation for being rude when they really just don't have any intuition.
You walk
for
in a room,
what
somebody
is and
rip
what
a fart?
isn't the right thing to do. Well, no, and they're pretty much saying like they can like invite you over for dinner, but then ignore you the whole time. Or they'll they can open the door to let you in their house, and then they'll just walk away and ignore you.
Are you going to give a reference out where you're getting this from?
I got this on I found
Cite your sources.
My source is from the Harley Therapy, Psychotherapy and Counseling. And it's on the interwebs. Harley Therapy.
Okay.
Oh, it's actually from the UK.
You're at number 5. Okay.
I am at number 5. So, obsessive focus on one topic and often an unusual one. So it might be collecting something rare or an unusual hobby, and they talk incessantly about it, unaware that they're boring other people, and just repeat themselves over and over again.
That's where people start thinking that cafeteria psychology, where I'm talking about my boring shit, talking about Kierkegaard or something like that, and Weigand or someone,
or football for 25 minutes straight.
Yeah. Just talking about it,
right. Awkward conversational skills, of course. They said that, again, those with Asperger's can rant
what was the
on
one,
and on.
or Tourette's?
Yeah, well,
Cockballs.
Ball hair.
Ball hair. Anus taint.
That's a huge bitch. What was that movie? Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo.
Who's huge bitch? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Not a sharer. They're not a sharer. They don't like to share personal experiences or emotions. They will rant over and over again about their obsessions, but they don't share personal. They won't say, "You made me feel really bad today." Right? And then black and white thinking. So they said that it's very rigid. Like once they make their mind up about something, you cannot change their mind.
How about that?
Which flows into 10, which is inflexibility.
Whoa.
So they get very upset about something that seems tiny or strange. If like a decision to use an oven to bake a potato when they feel like you should never use an oven less than exactly 5 potatoes at a time.
What?
Yeah, like without cooking 5 potatoes, you shouldn't put 1 potato in the oven. Right? If they have it in their mind that there should be 5 potatoes in the oven at one time, and you put 1 potato in there, they can get upset about that.
They're obsessing over a hot potato.
Right? Yeah, hot potatoes. Number 11.
I got some potatoes for you.
Is a need for routine, because without it, they can become very flustered and panicked.
Is there anything about cleaning a stove?
I didn't see that. Well, I saw the maybe it's about the potatoes. Too many potatoes. Not enough potatoes. And they're not touchy-feely. They're not affectionate people. And they might flinch at being tapped on the back or if you touch their arm when they refuse to be hugged.
Okay, well, then it isn't underdiagnosed because, well, I think, I don't.
So that's what I got for you.
Well, why couldn't you have some of those and not all of those?
The spectrum, right?
Right.
Being on the spectrum.
Part of the spectrum.
Well, yeah, it doesn't mean you have to have all. It's just like the most common signs
Right.
of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Anyway, feel free to move on.
Well, the one thing you know what? There's the one thing that makes me, I got a big one for me. I liked the first 2 Terminator. Hey, Hoagie. The first 2 Terminator movies.
Yes.
I liked the first 2, and then I kind of ignored the rest of them because they started getting silly. But what I noticed in this one that just was released, and the one that I got my little rant, and then you can dispel and give an argument for it. But this is one thing. Let me say one thing before. Okay?
Why is he old?
What?
Why is he old?
That's God damn it!
I'm sorry. That's
my thing.
Yeah. Why is he
That's
old?
my thing. I'm not saying my thing. Obviously, you came up with the same thing.
Well, I mean, I get why
so
Sarah.
Arnold's getting old.
Right.
I don't dispute getting older, but as the actor getting older.
Right.
I realize people get older.
But
I'm getting older.
Portraying a machine.
Covered with a synthetic or regular human skin. Why would you mimic the aging process when you don't have the organs inside or anything to do it? Why would you make something? It's not like. Make something obsolete. If you're building something to look like a human, wouldn't you want it to stay looking like that? I mean, would you? I mean, that's a really deep kind of thing. You say, well, I'm going to keep it in there for 50 years and then reveal it's a robot. You know, what the fuck? Why the fuck would you age a robot?
I don't.
Simple is they paid me lots of money.
Yeah. No, I just don't get it. It's just the one thing, the mimic, the one thing that falls apart.
I mean, is there an explanation for his aging? Because that was.
I bet they don't explain it.
Right, but that was my one thought.
I bet the writers said, you know what? People fucking won't notice.
They probably won't.
You won't notice. You won't notice because in the first one, in the first Terminator, you notice like the things where they're using a plastic head when he's sewing his head and all that stuff, and he's doing it. You can see the thing, and he did it in Total Recall too. They used to like making. There must have been one person had a lot of work in the 80s, the late 80s, making.
It was probably state of the art.
Or making. No, Arnold Schwarzenegger heads.
I dripped on my
wax, making wax or a latex Arnold Schwarzenegger heads because they kept on making them for the Terminator movie, Total Recall. They probably did it for a couple other ones and stuff like that. You know,
there's probably a guy that
one expert, and they said, "Oh, if you're going to make an Arnold Schwarzenegger head, this is the one to do."
He's probably on the spectrum and has an entire room.
No, but I don't understand. I don't understand. Like in Star Wars, they're still using Carrie Fisher, and she's been dead for 4 years or 3 years.
Well, they get away with it because they started Star Wars halfway into the story.
No, but you can CGI.
Then they go back.
You can CGI. I mean, since they did it, they could CGI. They could use Arnold. Just CGI the younger Arnold over top of him, the skin.
Well, who the hell needs Arnold then?
No, Arnold's still acting. It's just like...
That's not acting.
Well, he never acted. Yeah, really. I mean,
I just show up and make one-liners.
Yeah. I mean, they said Sylvester Stallone never acted either.
Baby.
Yeah.
If you think about it, every character was the same character except for Copland.
Copland, I think, was genius.
It was one of the best police movies.
I like that movie. One, it takes him so far out of care. He plays a wimp.
Not a wimp.
Yeah, no.
A wimp. He's not a wimp.
He is less in your face guy. I thought he was wimpish.
I don't think he was wimpish. I think he was. He behaved as if he had no value, which is different than wimpish. Like he was downtrodden.
Compromised.
Worse than Rocky.
Oh, but yeah, not even like any cultural connection to, let's say, the Rocky figure. I mean,
you're right. He didn't even see himself as he saw himself as a junior, like a mall cop compared to the New York guys that lived in the town. The New York, but he was actually once he realized that he was better than they were. Once he realized he was better than they were, then he became better than they were. I mean, in all aspects, in toughness, in tenacity, and all that stuff. And it was a beautiful transformation in there. I think it was his best performance, better than Rocky.
I agree.
You know,
Rocky very emotional.
I mean, I could never believe that he could act with De Niro.
That must have been frightening. Can you imagine even if a new actor.
After Rocky and Bullwinkle, I could imagine that.
Yeah, well.
You've seen Rocky and Bullwinkle? When De Niro played, Boris, he played the great leader. And after I saw De Niro then, I said, you know what? I realize that we will sink to the lowest or rise to the highest. Because De Niro has always been like me. I'm thinking, or look at Clint Eastwood. I was talking to a bunch of people about Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood was in a musical. Clint Eastwood is not Paint Your Wagon.
And he sang, by the way, in
he
that
sang
musical.
Yes, he did. He sang in another one too, Honky Tonk Man or something like that. But and Every Which Way But Loose, the same guy that directed you at almost 90 years old, right?
Right.
And The Mule, which the guy is such a natural on screen. He's such a and he's a right-wing nut job too.
Yeah, well, listen, his politics aside, John Wayne defined right-wing nut job, but John Wayne had an image, and I don't think anyone played that image. He's the iconic Western guy.
Oh, yeah, he was. Oh, my God.
The template for what you do in a Western, how you... And
my God, in The Quiet Man. Have you ever seen him in The Quiet Man? How are we segueing all this shit? What's going on right now? We were talking about the Terminator.
The Terminator.
But Arnold has never displayed any of these acting skills.
But he'll be the first one to probably tell you that.
I'll tell you something. Wait, I will tell you what he was good at. The greatest performance. As governor of California, he was effective. For a Republican governor, he was a Republican governor who was he was successful. People loved Arnold as the governor.
Yeah,
they called him the Governator.
They're very affectionate towards him
as
far as being a
you know what?
governor.
He was the perfect, I'd have to say, the perfect Republican when you consider he was fiscally conservative, socially accepting, and he was outward looking or future. He had plans for the future for the state, which, you know what? I was kind of like, when I was younger, I was kind of like that. I was kind of like Bob Dole.
Yeah.
I was a Bob Dole or a John McCain. That was me. And I got pushed out by people that are...
Some people would say that's Republican classic now, conservative classic. And Arnold kind of fit that mold as governor.
Yeah.
He was not prone to the partisanship and,
that holier than thou... Whatever you fucking, I don't know how we descended into this part.
I don't know, but Arnold in the movie.
No, but as a guy, I'll tell you, that guy's. If you talk about range, and we were talking about Sylvester Stallone showing up in Cotland, the greatest range was Arnold being able to be governor. Yeah, he could. Maybe. I mean, if he was in a shitty, he's in action movies and stuff and wasn't really, he's a good action movie actor, but he never got one good serious role. Sylvester Stallone did. But he also did one of the shittiest movies I've ever heard of. I never even could watch the movie.
Which is?
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
The what?
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot with Estelle Getty. Did you know he was in Stallone?
I never even knew that was a movie.
He was a cop.
Wasn't Estelle Getty Sophia from the Golden Girls?
Yes.
Okay.
She
played his mom. And she was kind of like these controlling Italian mothers. And
with a big gun in the purse.
Yeah. Fucking, I mean, it was like up there. Stop on My Mom Will Shoot. I'll name some of the movies that are comparable. Dude, Where's My Car? Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Actually, that's probably better.
Throw Mama from the Train?
That was great. That was a fucking great
movie. That movie was.
I don't know why that popped into my head. I don't even think I've ever seen it.
Great. Throw Mama from the Train. Billy Crystal and the little guy Danny DeVito.
Yeah, but the mom.
Oh, the mom was great.
She was the mom from Goonies.
Yes, she was.
And she was also. She was in a couple other movies.
She was a wonderful character actress.
She was a great actor. Yeah, very unattractive woman. But she used it to her advantage, much like Napoleon Dynamite's grandmother.
I can't place it.
We're not one of the movie shows, and we did our movie episode.
Wasn't that the one that was so? No, I'm thinking of Eating Gilbert Grape or something.
What?
I was thinking that the grandmother of Napoleon Dynamite was the one that was like 500 pounds, and he had to take the wall off.
That's eating.
That's
what's eating Gilbert Grape?
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
I didn't get to see that. Wasn't that a real actress? Or was that a fat person?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Not John Travolta in.
Was there explosions and gunfire in that movie?
I don't know.
I didn't watch it.
Me either.
I took a girl on the date one time. I took her to see Hamlet. The Mel Gibson version. I think there was a Mel Gibson version of it. I don't know what fucking was it Macbeth? It was pretty long and prominent. I love Shakespeare. I fucking what?
I think it was Macbeth.
With Mel Gibson?
Wasn't it?
I think Glenn Close. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't a really good rendition of it. There was I went to see Hamlet, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet, and they had an intermission. 4 fucking hours long.
Why?
I love Shakespeare, man. Once I got into the weird thing about getting into this thing, this is my, I guess maybe an Asperger's thing, or you could attribute to it, but it's not, is that with Shakespeare, once you get in the rhythm of the language, how they do iambic pentameter, they did a show on HBO called Deadwood.
And they canceled it, and I was so disappointed.
Do you realize a lot of Deadwood was done, or all of Deadwood was done in iambic pentameter?
It's the rhythm of the speaking.
It was the rhythm of the speaking. Okay, yeah. And the guy who was my brother, I'm Daryl, and this is my cousin Larry and my other cousin Larry, or my brother Larry and my other brother Larry. That guy was the innkeeper, and he was also the chorus, and he used to do the things that in Shakespeare where the guy gives the background to the stories.
Right.
And they do it in that, and it was a fucking Western. They did an iambic pentameter. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And a lot of people didn't get the guy that played Swearingen, the saloon keeper.
That was
a brilliant. If you listen to it, if you go and listen to it with new ears and a new appreciation, Jenna,
I know.
You will find another level that you love about that.
Ian, shit.
I know who you're talking about.
The guy who played
the guy who played Swearingen.
Ian, fuck.
Yeah, and they had the guy that played the sheriff, who was very physical playing the sheriff. I'm sure you probably had a crush on him.
No.
You didn't like that guy? Every woman loves that guy.
No, I know.
Okay. They had the guy from Emerald Forest. I forget his name. Okay, well, whatever it is.
Okay.
And I don't know what the point of it. The point was that Shakespeare, once you get into the rhythm of the language, you get to understand how they do it and and it's not all rhyming. It's measured. Every word's measured.
It was Ian McShane.
Oh, I love
Ian McShane. Yes, but he actually was. He took a very long break, I believe, from acting because wasn't he in musicals back in like the 60s?
I don't know where.
Well, no, he was in BBC. He was on the BBC.
Okay, because
he was on the BBC for a long time.
But he plays a wonderful bad guy.
And then Timothy Oliphant was the
sheriff.
The sheriff, and then the best one I thought though was Robin Weigert. Because she's the one that played
the blonde chick.
No, she played Calamity Jane, and when she fell off the horse and she was drunk upside down, she was like, "Oh, sorry, I farted." Like it was so funny. She was hilarious.
She did the best.
The blonde one was Paula Malcolmson, and she was the self-proclaimed slut. She was a slut. I'm a whore. Yep. I'm a whore.
Damon. Okay, well, listen, we're at the end of the show. We got that was a perfect ending for us.
Yes, it was.
Deadwood. This is a dead end. I'd like to thank Papa Joe and Jenna, and we're going to end this episode we'll be back to you. And for us, it'll be 5 minutes.